go, or do I need to?
No, it's good. Hey everybody, welcome to the PHC wrap-up show brought to you by Badboonarising. Joined here again, once again with my friends Matt Gaines and Mr. Tim Smith. Guys, thanks for coming back.
Bed, Mark, glad to be here.
We had a lot of fun that first round. We covered a lot of ground in there. We got some good feedback on some stuff. And well, we're here on day 9 of the NCHA Metallic Cat Futurity, and we've seen quite a tide change from the first go-round to the second go-round. Yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit. What's changed?
The cattle, I think. These cattle were heavier, dang sure tougher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was just telling Tim before we started, like, I mean, in this second go-round, you needed a good horse, do a good job, and have a little luck, too. Yeah. I mean, they were testy.
Yeah, and as good as the first round was, these were the opposite, tough. Yep. And that first morning when that first set came in, they were hot and blowing, and they were fast. And you know, there's an old saying on the weekends that somebody's still going to win. You know, you got to go down there and do your job. And you know, there was a lot of good horses got taken out, but the cream rises to the top in that situation. That was a tough cutting. 3 days of tough cutting for babies.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, it was almost like we went from the Coliseum to the Watt Arena there for a minute. These get like that first go round. You could really, it looked like you could shape those cows up. You could set your cut up. And this turned into, you better get in front of these suckers because they're coming to you as soon as they turn around. Yeah, there was a lot of shape cutting. I mean, you drive your cow up there, but you could see everybody feeling and shaping and like, here we go, okay, let's cut that one, you know. And that was a big part of this. It was as tough as I can remember. And when the first round ended, we were thinking 33, 34.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah. With 31, that's
we ended up with 31.
Low. That's 31, low for this cutting. 75 horses. That's a lot of horses. And 15 to 16 with that caliber of showman and horse flesh. The cows were definitely tough, but you know, you got to go when they call your name. So.
Yeah, 431 in the open with 4 extras. 431 and a half in the intermediate, so it took more in the intermediate to make those finals, and then in the limited of 425 and 2 extras. Tim, you were kind of at both ends of the spectrum. You had one early and then one today.
Yeah.
And Matt, both of yours were today, and you made it on all 3 of those that went today. How much advantage is that going a little bit deeper when things change like that you can make adjustments to your program?
Well, for me, I was the second horse the first morning. And I had a 13, so we thought we had to blast up, you know, and I had needed to mark a 19 or 18 to make it, I should say, but those cattle were not taking it, and you could see the deeper you were in the set, everybody was like changing their game plan, and today, I felt like today was the best set of cattle of the 3 days. I mean, maybe we were just used to them, but it was hard to go down there and mark 16. I mean, Matty showed 2 today, deep in sets, and showed them exceptionally well, and you know, 16 was hard to come by.
That 4th set was tough.
Yeah.
That was a tough set of cows. Like I said, I was last in. I was very fortunate. I found 2 cows that were good, but I mean, that was a very tough set of cows.
I think there was just you and Brady that advanced out of that
I think
set.
That's right.
And you know, Brady had to 31, but yeah, that was just tough. And you know, we see that a lot at these shows. Sometimes, like you'll get sets that they're just really hard to get through.
Yeah.
And to your point a while ago about, you know, how does, you know, you change whether you're, you know, day 1 or day 3. I don't know that. Maybe if you've got a 13 that first day and you're thinking it's going to take a 33, you're going to maybe take a little more risk. But other than that, like, I don't think it changed. I mean, you still got to go do your job and watch your cows and cut the best cows you think are available, get them cut clean and do your job, and you know, and the results take care of themselves. And you know, so I don't know that it changes that much. You know, other than, you know, maybe you get a chance, you know, you get a little better feel for the cattle over a couple of days, probably be the biggest thing.
Yeah. Well, and like I was sitting out there visiting with Austin and Brett Davis during that last set, and these cattle, you know, you'd cut a Bramer cow that you would think would be snappy, and it'd stand there and look at you, and somebody drive up a little fat black cow, and it'd go like a bat out of heck, you know, and so they were very hard to read, but, you know, Austin said, you better have your head screwed on straight and be on your game, because, you know, you had to be ready to option and dang sure get in front of them. But, you know, the cow horses pretty much rose to the top today, and, you know, for the second round. You had to have a horse that go hold a bad cow.
Yeah, yeah. And leading the rounds, let's just go over that. Some of the top scores. We had Cass Tatum with a 220 on Natty Daddy by Rolls Royce, owned by CT Cutting Horses, so on his own horse there.
Yeah.
And then Wesley Gowing with a 220. I watched that horse in the Coliseum on Armour. Metallic Rebel, owned by Glover and Gallion Partnership. That horse has got a lot of reach and a lot of strength.
Yeah, nice horse.
And really cool horse. But there was several others. I know several people commented on Adan's horse, you know, his stud. Matt Miller had a 19.5 today on Amanda Ray's.
I'll tell you, that horse looked good today.
Yeah,
really
very good.
Yes.
Really good
very
today.
good. Yeah. And that one's owned by Chris and Tracy Brengard, I believe. You know, so we saw some. We didn't see some really big scores, but we saw some scores kind of get through there, and you know, like you said, the cream rises to the top.
Yeah. You know, and there was some horses that, you know, like Matt Miller came back from a 13, I believe, or a 13.5, and Andy Sherrod came back from a 13. Andy has a fabulous mare. I'm not so sure she's not one of my favorites.
Colin, he came back from a 14, I think.
Colin came back, and you know, there was just some of them cattle grabbed those colts, and I mean, it was game on right now. And there, you know, there were some of them shifted gears that was like, I got it handled, just go along for the ride, and that was fun to see. You know, it was a real cut in this last 3 days.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about the riders that got both horses back, which is quite an accomplishment in itself. Did you have those?
We got. I don't have the name, but the names. I know this guy right next to me did. But 13 riders have 2 horses coming back. 13 had 2 coming back, and you know, that was pretty darn good. As rough as it was out there to get them both showed. You know, and as always, it's, you know, a lot of them are the same names year after year after year. But there was you know. Lance Cooper, I know he had got both his back early the first day. Early the first day. And you know, I don't have the list in front of me. I apologize for that.
I know a few of them, but I couldn't say all of them.
I think Lance has been on vacation since then. He had a few days off. He came back. He's like, I'm good.
He helped Michael in the last set there, and he looked pretty relaxed over there in the corner. He's like, I got mine, Pops. Go ahead on there.
You need some help?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then, well, some of the studs, obviously, that are really standing out. Tim, Rolls Royce and Raising the Cash, both having really good shows right now.
Yeah, for sure. Raising the Cash has got 11 coming back to the semis. Rolls Royce a total of 12. Bad Boon is next with 9. The Raising the Cash and the Rolls Royce horses have stood out. There's some exceptional colts by those 2 stallions this year, and
well, I've seen a lot of Bad Boons too. You know, I mean, I know. What you said, 9 back. I mean, there were some that had some tough luck, but overall, those
are
really good
are very nice horses. Metallic Cat with 8, Stevie Ray Vaughan with 9, and then it drops off from there. Hashtags with 5, and then Rebel with 5, MVP with 3, Once in a Blue Boon with 3. And you know, so there was you know, some Raising the Cash and Rolls Royce had 36% and 28% respectively coming back to the semis out of what actually went to the herd the first go round. So they've had a really good futurity, and we have a Raising the Cash as our high horse after the go round. Katie and Cookie's horse that Adon is showing.
By Raising the Cash out of Metalistic.
Right.
So and then Ronnie. He's doing great. 218 with his 220. Bought Tag That Wood. So you know, it's fun to see him come back. Had a little tough luck in this last set on another one, but I mean, we've got a pretty broad spectrum of riders coming back from some of the catch riders, up and comers to some of the legend guys. and especially in the limited. We were joking earlier. I mean, the limited looks like a cow horse final, right? All the cow horses. I mean, shout out to Clayton Edsel, Todd Bergen, Boyd Rice, Tyler Merrill, Aaron Terramino. And I'm sure we're leaving a few out. But there's like half the field in there has come from the cow horse.
From the cow horse.
Chris Dawson was in there too, and Chris trained one of his own. I can't think of the name right now, but
the blue horse.
The blue horse.
And it was darn sure. It's a very nice horse.
And he's been one that's really been studying this. He spent a lot of time working with these guys. I know he really studies it. That obviously the herd work is such an important part of what they do over there, and it's cool to see him have some success.
Well, you'll see him. I saw him at Graham.
He's cutting. He's sneaking in there every chance he can get.
He's at Abilene every year right after this deal, and going on there. So but the semis, I'm not exactly sure what the final payout is with the extras, but it was scheduled to pay $10,000 per horse to go in there. So right there, I mean, there's some justification. There's some payback right there. It's going to pay probably 9 and change. And so that's great. We've now got some money earners here that have got a show record already, and now we basically some of these horses are going to go into those finals tomorrow. We have the intermediate and the limited finals tomorrow, and then some may show in the non-pro and the amateur. And then some of these are going to get a break, like what we talked about in the first wrap-up show. Better
part of 2 weeks, just resting in the country, and sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's not a good thing. We've seen some of them that have doubled up and they come back, they just get stronger. And hopefully the cattle will kind of change back to first go-around style, as opposed to what we've had to battle here the last 3 days. And there was a comment made out there, but I was talking to Brett and Austin again, but Brett said from the cattle as a whole were as even for the first go around, and they were even in the second go around. They were tough, but they were even. They were even, and that's all we can ask for. For the cattle crew is, you look at them cattle, you'd think they're what you want. But and like I said, somebody's going to win, and the horses that stayed where they were supposed to and had a little luck involved, get to go into the semis.
Well, and you never know. I mean, you look at cattle; they look like they're supposed to be good, but you don't ever know till you get them in there and start working them. I mean, how they're going to take it.
It's the biggest variable in our sport.
Oh, for sure.
And I think one good thing is there's some guys that are really happy because everybody's talking about the cattle. They're not talking about the judging. I haven't heard one word about the judging, so I'm assuming it's going great over there.
All good.
So that's a great thing.
To me, it's been pretty consistent too. And there again, that's about all you can ask.
That's all you can ask for. They've stayed hooked all the way through. And I think these guys got tomorrow. And then they're done, and a new set comes in, and so they'll go get to freshen up a little bit and come back for the last weekend as well, and go from there.
So like I said, tomorrow we've got the limited and intermediate finals coming up. We're going to have the PHC pregame show tomorrow, and we're going to have Mr. Monty Button, Cullen Chartier, and Cody Porterfield sitting next to me for that one. We're going to be covering all the action for that. And then let's talk about, it's also the deadline for the Western Bloodstock Sale Preview, which is happening at TR9 Ranch at Teton Ridge this year. It's moved over there. We're going to have 2 arenas side by side, and there's going to be a lot of exposure for these colts. If you've got a 2-year-old in that sale, in the Western Bloodstock Sale, be sure and check that out. It's $310 to get entered, but you've got to do that tomorrow by the 20th. That is the deadline for that. And then we're going to have videos, we're going to have reels, we're going to have all the stuff that you can use to promote those colts right before the sale as well. And Tim, that's always, it's such a great way to see these colts right before they sell.
Well, and looking at the videos, and there's been a lot of traffic over at Jeremy's Western Bloodstock booth, but they changed so much in that last 45 days, and depending on when these videos were taken, and you can sit there, and I would assume there'll be probably close to 200 colts out there, I would guess, give or take. But it's a little truer deal, sometimes the video skips and backs up and you don't know exactly what happened.
It's always different. I mean, even as good as video is now, it's different seeing them live. To really see what they are. So it's a great opportunity if you're looking to buy something, to go get a real, firsthand look
Yeah.
and know for sure what they are. So.
Well, and I think be able to just go talk to the trainers, you know,
Yeah.
and talk to the people there,
Yeah.
talk to the local, watch that horse getting loped, you know, being prepared,
Yeah.
seeing how it handles standing back there,
Yeah.
and just all the things that you may not get to see or look for on sale day. You're getting a fuller picture of these horses.
Well, and as you know, and this was, you know, Phil and Marianne's baby out there, and they, you know, it kind of outgrew Rap Ranch, you know, and seating was a bit of an issue. So hopefully there's going to be a spot for everybody to get comfortable and watch these colts, and it's going to go fast because we're back to back, and one's done and this one starts. So there's not going to be a lot of downtime. You're going to see a lot of horses in a short period of time, and I think it's a great opportunity, and you know, we don't have the information on the sale colts that are in the semifinals, but I'll guarantee you there's several of them, you know, when it comes right down to it, and
Always.
and they've come back and done very well. So if you're looking for a winner, you can darn sure buy it out of that encyclopedia right there.
Well, I think that's something too. Over the last few years, the quality of 2-year-olds that come to this sale is a whole lot better than what it used to be several years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that, you know, for a long time, people wouldn't bring their best ones here to sell them, and now there you'll see several of them.
Well, and that's it. And obviously, you've got to be willing to pay for that. But at least you're getting the opportunity now to shop these horses, and you're seeing market prices for them. I mean, because it's there, it's real money, and that's what these horses are worth on that given day when, you know, when multiple people are wanting these horses. But that's it. Truly, we've seen that quality just keep going up.
Right.
And that's
and as we all know, once somebody figures out they have a really good one, it's hard to buy them.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I mean, they don't come. The good ones don't come to sell very often. So, you know, it's not only a good opportunity; it might be the only opportunity on some of them
to buy one. Yeah, exactly. And we're all gonna want the same one. You know, we'll sit there and we're like, I want that one, and so does he. That's why they bring what they bring. You know, and it's a heck of an opportunity, and lots of yearlings, but you know, 2-year-olds hit the ground first, and that's what we're talking about. But certainly a chance for everybody to get out there and see the T9 and watch these colts and get a little better idea what you're looking at come sale day.
Yeah, well, and obviously the sire part is a big important part of it. We always joke, and I mean it's true, but the dam side is a big part of it as well. Tim, we've got some mares that have got 2 back going to the semifinals.
Yeah, going to the semis. We've got 4 mares that have 2 back. Cat Cherie, and I believe both of those were Bad Boons, and then Olive Martini. I believe one of them was Cody Headlands, and one was one Matt Miller showed. Rose Colored Ray has 2, and then Sweet Smoke Lena.
Armando. Both of his,
out of that mare, and you know, she's still been doing some weekend duty as well as you know, embryo duty. But I'll tell you what, Armando's horse is a sleeper. I watched him today in the 2nd round. He was the first horse the first morning. That's a Raising the Cash stud out of that mare. And that is a cow pony right there now. He will hold a bad dude. He did today, and looked good doing it. So, but these, you know, obviously the brood mares are a big part of this, and these 4 mares here all had 2 offspring coming back to the semis.
Yeah, and it's, you know, there were several horses, and I'm not going to name names, but there were several horses that in the first go around they kind of had nice runs, but today they really shine. And then there was some in the first go around that really stood out that maybe, you know, looked like, oh, that, you know, we need to kind of hold this together a little bit in the second go around. But that's what we always see here. But now when we get down to the Super Stakes, it's a shootout.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, the cream rises. They just keep getting better, and it's amazing to sit there and see how trained these colts are. You know, you used to judging, you know, I've judged a lot, and you know, you can watch the first go around and there's 15 in a set, there might be 5 that had cut. You know, and now there's 14 out of 15. You know, but it's pretty amazing how good these horses are at such such a young age. It's amazing to watch, and it's easy for them. You know, it's just easy for them, and we're raising some great horses and training them and showing them, obviously, but it's fun to sit there. I mean, you know, we've been doing this a long time, the 3 of us, and to watch where this sport has gotten to at this show is absolutely amazing, because the caliber of horse flesh and the showman, it's over the top. It really is.
Well, I would bet, I don't know all the horses that made it back, but I would bet you, I mean, out of, you said we ended up 3 extras, so 78. I mean, like, I'd say all 78
4 extras,
have
79, yeah.
You know, have a great
Shot making.
chance of you know, getting into the finals. And it seems like for the last few years too, you know, you get 20 horses in the finals, and hell, all 20 of them
Could win.
And 10 years ago or so, you know, it wasn't that way.
No.
You know, you'd have 75 horses in the semifinals, and there was, you know, maybe 35 or so that, you know, 35 to 40 that legitimately you felt like had a shot to get in there and have success. And now it's just, you know, it's, I mean,
it's loaded.
It's kind of whoever cuts the best cows gets showed the best.
Well, I remember Kathy Dawn, when she won the Futurity on Royal Fletch, and they were talking to her, and she said she was fortunate enough to cut the 3 best cows that night, and she damn sure did. But that is the key to what goes on here. They're all fairly equal, all these horses, you know, and it's who cuts the best cows. I mean, that's what it really comes down to show that horse off.
And we may be setting up for one of the best semifinals we've ever seen, because now these horses from the first go around, they've cut everything in and controlled. Everything was nice, I mean, for the most part, and then the second go around, they've proven they can go hold some tough cows. So now, like, you know, not saying that the cows can't get any worse, but I mean, it was pretty tough. But knowing that you've got a horse now that handles both situations, and you've felt some differences. Obviously, it's like 2 totally separate works. You know you know when to go ahead and ask for a little more, and when to kind of sit back and just let that horse kind of have it a little bit. But that's to me, I think, is what's going to make this semifinal. It's pretty exciting.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good watching for sure.
Well, we've got a lot more action here. Like I said, we're on day 9. We've still got plenty to go. We've got World Finals coming up next week as well. Lots more to come. So stay tuned to CHC Live Scoring. Matt and Tim, thanks again for joining us here.
Thank you.
And thanks to Badboonarising for bringing this pregame show. Wrap-up show, I should say. We wrap this one up. We're pre-gaming tomorrow.